Howdy campers, and welcome back to another episode of Collection Log Completionist, the series where I take the last of my PTO in order to play RuneScape. This week, of course, we're going to be doing the Desert Treasure 2 quest and all of the new bosses that came with it. If you don't care to see my reactions and discussing the quest itself, you can skip to this timestamp here. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy.
I don't meet all of the requirements. Really now? Oh. What the heck is his faithful servants? Oh, I have to do a Barrows run? Already going for a great start here. Alright, so now we should get the ancient icon.
A lot of times I think of quests and puzzles in old school RuneScape as like really obscure point-and-click adventure games from 20 years ago where the solutions to their puzzles wouldn't make any sense and I would never get it. But a lot of the puzzles in the first half of this quest were actually pretty intuitive, so I enjoyed just working through them myself, and I didn't even need to use a guide for most of them. By far my favorite section was the Stranglewood section, because there's like a slightly stealthy element to it that I feel like we've never gotten in a RuneScape quest before, and it was just really fun to go through. No really weird puzzles to bog down the playtime, just like fun adventure action content that I don't think we see enough of in quests nowadays. I'll go into the bosses more as we do them, but I don't really have any complaints with any of the bosses, and the versions that you fight during the quest are simplified enough to where they're still kind of difficult, but they're not gonna roadblock you too much, after a couple attempts at least. The Scar area I also really enjoyed, just kind of doing all of these small puzzles and exploring these little maze-like areas. However, I definitely felt like it drug on a little too long, and by the time we reached the end of this section, I was pretty ready to be done with it. The Leviathan felt like a relatively simple boss fight for me, so I decided to camp it after completing the quest, and that was a horrible idea, but we'll see more of that later. This next prison section was by far the weakest section of the quest for me. I get that they were going for a sort of escape room-esque, old-style RuneScape puzzle, but I'm just not a fan of these types of things, so I was pretty bored this entire section. There were way more mini-bosses in this quest than I expected there to be. Obviously, I expected the 4 big bosses, but there were like 5 or 6 other mini-bosses scattered throughout this quest too, which I thought was pretty cool. The Duke's a solid boss. I even like the Hollowed Sepulchre-esque prep phase at the beginning of the fight, but probably my favorite moment from the quest happened here, right after getting the Duke's medallion.
For number 3, only one more to go. The end is in sight. What? That's so funny. They have an enemy that spawns in your POH? What?
Lastly, there was this Shadow Realm area, which I really wanted to like because I appreciate what they're going for here, and I think it's really interesting and unique. But at this point, I had already been doing this quest for like 5 or 6 hours, and I was just ready to be done with it. Plus, the wiki still did not have a very good walkthrough, especially for this section, and this was by far the most complicated section. So it was a rough like hour and a half trying to figure out what the heck was going on here. But after a quick Whisperer fight, grabbing her medallion and then heading back to the Desert Temple, we finished off 2 more mini-bosses, went through a couple long cutscenes, and we finished the quest.
Let's go! And it only took 7.5 hours. Oh man. Yo, and we get as many quest points as Romeo and Juliet gives you. That seems pretty fair. I guess prayer. Sheesh, usually they don't let you do that. I'm really unsure how this whole casting shadow spells while in range gear is gonna work, to be honest, but we will just have to see. Because the Leviathan definitely seems to be the easiest of the bosses. Ah! Or if you miss one flick and then you're just boned. Ow. Why is it that... Why can he... Didn't have a spell selected. Of course I didn't have a spell selected. There we go! Oh, man. That was probably a lot harder than it should have been. Just got me with, like, chip damage on that? Oh, it feels bad. I feel like I'm so close, though. Jesus Christ. Okay. Nice. Is that not a collection log slot? I think these are pretty common because it's like, don't you use them to unlock the hard mode variants when they eventually happen? I probably shouldn't just drop it in at 2 mil. Look at that. 3 whole kills. God, I'm so good at this game. Oh. What? I thought that thing was chasing me. What's it doing if it's not chasing me then? Honestly, am I stupid, or did you guys think that that orb was chasing me the entire time? I've been like running around to like try to avoid it. But that's like, it makes it so much easier if I don't have to run around and avoid that. Also, 180 earth runes, let's fuck LFG boys. Ow, 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 ow. No! I didn't even realize that. I accidentally dropped one of the orbs adjacent to him, so it messed me up when I tried running around. And no way am I actually just stuck. It's so much easier just casting it from the spellbook. It's actually cracked. Alright, I need to take a break. It's so close. It's right there. I'm just too tired to close it out.
I feel like Leviathan's a little bit easier than I made it out to be, but in my defense, I was about 10 hours deep into a stream and very tired. Also, I didn't have like the best gear and strats and everything that had been developed by the community, so I feel relatively confident that when I go back to Leviathan, I'll be able to pick it up relatively easily. Plus, I learned a couple things along the way to help streamline the fight a little bit, but I'm still nervous. Overall, very cool fight, but the final phase is very hectic and quite frustrating.
Oh, look at that. Only 4 food Woo, baby! Smoke quartz. New collection log slot. Easy game. Only took us like 30 deaths. I believe that's used to upgrade the ancient scepter.
We have gone and done potentially the unthinkable. I sold off my twisted bow. I never thought the day would come where I would sell it, but it's tanking pretty hard right now, so it's not best in slot like anywhere, so I figured it's gonna continue to drop. But then again, it looks like I already sold it for like 7 mil under what the current market price is now. But Twisted Bow has to keep dropping, I feel like. So I sold it off, bought Torva at a very, very inflated price. But I also just really want to get to killing some of these other bosses, because Leviathan is not it, that's for sure. Whew! That wasn't too bad, actually. I think I get this now. Yeah, the tiles really help. Also, I swapped over to slash attack style, and that also is a big help too. 1 piece of food used on that one. I definitely got a little bit lucky on the patterns at the end, but damn, that was clean. Fell apart a little there at the end, but still not a bad 2-kill trip. I gotta keep me humble. Hey!
Strangled tablet. That's very nice. We should be able to use this in order to teleport directly here now, so we don't have to do the long run. And if we still have to do some of the run, then at least it's going to be shortened. So that is a very nice one to get early. Damn. So now if we take our Ring of Shadows, there we go. If we use it on the Ring of Shadows, now we should be able to teleport there, but first we need to charge the ring, which is Blood, Soul, Death, Law. And there we go. Now we have 800 teleports, like right to the boss fight. If we do, oh, it can take us to this ancient vault too. Oh, sheesh. That's a cool teleport. This is not where I was hoping it would teleport us to, but suppose it keeps us from having to run all the way through Derek's area. So, you know, it's a nice time save still.
Overall, I'd say I enjoy the Vardorvus fight. It's pretty interesting, has some unique mechanics. I really like the on-screen blood clot mechanic, just because it's new and unique. But man, if you mess up one thing, it so quickly snowballs into just taking like 70 damage in 2 seconds. It's incredibly punishing, but a pretty fun boss fight.
Onyx Bolt's E, I thought that was a corp drop. What is it doing here? What the heck is this, an easy clue? I mean, I still need easy clues, so I'll take it, but why? Well, missed my reaction to it, but that's fine. We got ourselves another Awakener's Orb, which are sitting at like 3 mil right now, which is way more than I sold my 2 for yesterday, but that's fine. I'm not sad about that at all.
1 hundo KC.
Hey, another Awakener's Orb. Nice, nice. I think they're at about 3 mil right now. We're trying to mess around with a couple highlight things here. Trying to highlight the flower so I can see it a little bit better and highlight the axes so it's just easier for me to tell where they are. The upside is that it makes it easier for me to know where to click. The downside is it, I'm sure, makes it absolutely unwatchable to anybody trying to watch me play. So, pros and cons, I suppose. Whew, bronze javelins, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that money. 3 Addy ore drops in a row, interesting. Yes! Holy sh! Okay. So you use that to make the Soul Reaper's axe, but you can't sell it itself. I feel like I should move on to one of the other bosses. Basically, each one of the 4 Desert Treasure 2 bosses drops one of the pieces of the Soul Reaper axe, but they're not tradable individually. You have to combine them all together to make the Soul Reaper axe, and that's tradable. I don't know. I feel like I should move on to another boss. I did kind of want to try out the Duke. Huge shout out to Mock for lending me a scythe here in order to do the Duke. We managed to buy everything else that we needed for melee gear and whatnot, but did not have enough money for the scythe. Thank you very much again for the scythe lend. Before, I was thinking of grinding out one boss for like hundreds of kills, and I was starting to really enjoy Vardorvus there, but I think now we need to try to capitalize on having this Executioner head and see if we can yoink ourselves another Soul Reaper axe piece, because that'd be pretty big.
I personally really like the Duke fight. It's pretty simple and quite predictable, so it's pretty much just all about getting in the rhythm of the Duke's attacks and making sure you time your attacks correctly, but it just feels really satisfying to be able to get in sync properly and get down kills pretty fast. Also, I think the pet for the Duke is absolutely adorable, so I'm definitely going to be coming back here to grind out the pet first after we finish this Soul Reaper axe grind. The one real complaint I have about this boss isn't about gathering the potions, it's that if you click on this salt mine deposit from the balcony, it'll try to path you directly there instead of going around and downstairs, which means it'll take you out into the eye of the beholder and you'll take a 60.
Ow. No! Hey! Frozen tablet, very nice. You know, I really don't dislike this run back to Duke. It's not horrible. But having the tablet is definitely going to be nice. Tablet, there we go. Teleport. Where is this going to take me? Is it going to be like right in the room outside of the vault? Oh, not the right teleport. Not bad. I mean, this teleport is actually also incredible for Muspa now. So that's just as big. That's actually really cool. I like that. Whew. 63 bronze bars. Let's go, baby. Hey! Eye of the Duke. That is the one... That's the gem similar to... No, wait! Holy shit. No. This is the Eye of the Duke. This is used for the Soul Reaper axe. Okay. I was thinking that was the gem, like the gem of smoke that I got from Leviathan. That's insane. That's my second piece of the axe. Wow. Just sold back all that gear and look at that. Man, 1.2 bill back, which means we made about a 62 mil profit off of accidentally flipping that Torva. Not too bad. That's gonna make up for a lot of our death costs because we are pretty negative when it comes to GP from these bosses. Except we do have 2 of the axe pieces, so you know, that theoretically is like a billion GP right there, so you never know. Next on to the Whisperer. I was originally really afraid of doing this boss because her insanity mechanic seems so punishing, where if you get hit a couple times and run out of insanity, you basically just instantly die. And I was really scared of that, but all of her mechanics are pretty easily telegraphed and like very consistently the same each kill. So it's actually a pretty chill boss and I've actually been enjoying it. It's definitely more complicated than the Duke, but it still has that sort of like very by the books attacks and everything like the Duke that allows me to just kind of get into a flow and just kill the boss. Also, unlike the other bosses, she doesn't have chip damage, so if you're praying properly and don't mess up mechanics, you can stay here for quite a while without having to resupply. Hey, Shadow Quartz, nice. Would have preferred the tablet first, but beggars can't be choosers. I'm starting to get a pretty good hang of it, but like, there's still times where that final phase gets me a little bit stressed out when it probably shouldn't. Another orb, nice. No, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Hey, tablet, very nice. Now we can teleport here a bit quicker. I mean, it is a pretty far walk. It is the 4th option. Where's that gonna take me? That's kind of what I figured right here, and then we can just take the teleporter right in. Not too bad, actually. It is kind of funny that this teleports you into an instance, though. Is there any other teleport in the game that teleports you into an instance, or am I just being stupid? Is that a thing already? Another Awakener's Orb. I'll try to make sure not to accidentally use this one this time. What? Wait, unnoted 7 dragon plate skirts? Okay. I mean, it's a good drop over a mil, but... Wait, is that... It does. It shows up. Another orb, easy. Ow. He's so close to the wall, I couldn't run around him. So, this week we managed to get 7 of the 24 new collection log items, which puts us up to 1151 collections logged, including 2 of the 4 Soul Reaper axe pieces, which is pretty huge. I gotta say, overall, I think Jagex absolutely killed it with these bosses. They can be frustrating and they're pretty challenging, but once you get the hang of them, they're pretty satisfying to kill and actually quite fun to grind out. So big credit to where credit's due with Jagex making some good bosses
that don't just shit out supplies like Muspa. So, double thumbs up from me. If you want to see me continue my Soul Reaper axe grind in real time, make sure that you follow me on twitch.tv/campingonline. And don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't already, and you too can become a camper without ever having to touch grass. So take care, and until next time, happy camping.